Well, Iowa Republican Congressman Steve King, who's more Trump than Trump, was condemned yesterday by the head of the National Republican Campaign Committee, the committee in charge of re-electing House Republicans, for telling the Washington Post that if the Austrian Freedom Party, founded by a former Nazi officer, were in America pushing the platform that they pushed, they would be Republicans. Well, as the Des Moines Register editorial board points out, the GOP has been turning a deaf ear for years as King has vilified undocumented immigrants as drug mules, palled around with alt-right international leaders, and declared himself the defender of the white man's culture. Let's watch that.
They aren't all valedictorians. They weren't all brought in by their parents. For everyone who's a valedictorian, there's another 100 out there that they weigh 130 pounds and they've got calves the size of cantaloupes because they're hauling 75 pounds of marijuana across the desert. You cannot rebuild your civilization with somebody else's babies. You've got to keep your birth rate up, and that you need to teach your children your values.
This old white people business, though, does get a little tired, Charlie. I mean, I'd ask you to go back through history and figure out where are these contributions that have been made by these other categories of people that you're talking about? Where did any other subgroup of people contribute more to civilization?
Well, King, after taking, that would be Stephen King, taking a page from the president's playbook, said that these attacks are orchestrated by nasty, desperate, and dishonest fake news. But there we have on tape making these somewhat nationalistic charges. Yamiche, what do you make of it as an African-American woman when you watch a guy talk about people with cantaloupe legs? I mean, this guy really reaches for atrocious commentary.
What I make of it, not only as an African-American woman, but also as someone who's reported and interviewed white nationalists, there are people who are very excited about Steve King and who see Donald Trump as an echo of Steve King. And essentially, people forget that the people call this un-American sometimes. But remember that America was founded by stealing land. It was founded by enslaving black people. And there were laws ingrained in our institution to keep a whole generation of people down. So there's this idea that Steve King is representative of some parts of the ugly.
Let's say America has made an effort to improve itself. 600,000 people died in the Civil War most of them trying to end that situation.
But let's give Chairman Stiver some credit. I mean, here's the guy in charge of winning as many seats for Republicans as he can. You have Steve King in a dead-even race, could have something to do with who has the majority, and the head of the National Republican Congressional Committee came out a few days before election and criticized him. My question is, why didn't the Democrats do the same thing today with Joe Donnelly's what I think are very much perceived as racist comments that he made during the debate last night?
What?
He made the point, I want to get the quote right, it was something to the extent, he goes, well, yes, in diversity, I do have an African-American on my staff, but they're doing a really good job. And everybody picked up on the, what do you mean by but they're doing a very good job? And it was seen in many camps. And he did come out today and say, oh, I meant to say and, not but. But he did say it. He said it during the debate.
Okay.
You know,
your thought on that?
But, you know, to compare that to straight up white nationalism is a bit of a stretch, right?
I'm not. I'm comparing it to the Democrats not coming out and repudiating it.
And what Congressman King is in line with is very much within the Trump continuum. You know, what Congressman King and sort of this nationalism that they represent is no different from the President of the United States. The President of the United States who said, I'm a nationalist. Last time I checked, Chris, our grandparents died fighting nationalists in Europe. And now the President of the United States proclaims he's a nationalist. It's absurd.
But shouldn't the left move as quickly on their side?
I've been interviewing newly arrived Puerto Ricans who are voting in Florida, and I've been interviewing young black voters. And when they say, look, I don't really like the Democratic Party, I don't really like the Republican Party, but the Republican Party looks like a party to them as white nationalists. It's a party that they think, because of President Trump and other people like Steve King, they think that that's a party that just embraces this more than Democrats. They don't think that Democrats are perfect. They don't think that Democrats are emblematic of diversity. They just think the Republicans are giving us no choice.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.